Hello, everyone, and welcome to this YouTube videos where we're going to be talking about macroing, everything in Bee Swarm Simulator. Don't mind me if I'm going a little fast. I don't have a lot of time, and I want to try to make this video as efficient and quick as I can. And I hope that each one of you are able to enjoy and understand a little bit more. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to put my macro in my C drive. This way, when I transfer to a different computer, a different device, I use it on my laptop, I could just copy and paste it. And a lot of times I use OneDrive or Dropbox to be able to just copy it into another computer real quick. Okay, so um, that way I put it in the computer and I don't have to change file, folders, or anything else like that. Okay, real quick, almost everybody who shares macros, there's a README file. You go in there. It has a lot of different information. Um, one of the things I do want to go over is when you come to Roblox, right, and you want to macro, please make sure that your settings is default and everything else like that. There is problems when you have shift locked and other things like that. So we try to keep at least the default settings for this and everything else like that. For those who never macro before, the program that we use here, and I think it is famous everywhere else, so it's called JitBit. Okay. It's on there when here's on the top left, JitBit macro recorder. Okay. So usually, there's macro groups in the Bee Swarm Simulator over there in Discord. You get the files and everything else like that. Okay. Um, you have a field. I'm gonna go into a field real quick. Let's say coco. Okay. Um, another thing I want to clear up is that almost everybody who makes macros, okay, when you go into the macro, okay, don't worry about the names, my friends and stuff. Here is Hive slot one. Okay, Hive slot is always according to the Red Canyon. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay. Now a macro really functions as your keyboard. So if I press the letter A, I'm going to go to the left. If I press the letter D, I'm going to go to the right. So as we follow the macros, you can see what it does. Space, it presses the button E. It does pretty much everything that you can do with your hands, your mouse, and everything else like that. Okay, you can even record and play around with it and things like that. But I'm gonna get into some fields now. I am, as you saw, a white hive. Okay, um, I will continue to be a white hive, and besides, that's not important. Okay. So to better explain, usually most people already have a macro done. You go ahead and download it, and you want to play it right away, right? You never use JitBit macro before. So one of the first things you want to do is you want to go to settings, go to playback. Which one was it? See now I don't even remember. Oh, here it is. You want to go to settings. You want to go to playback settings. You want to change this to 0. Why 0? Infinite playback. Okay, so when you first download JitBit, it's at 1. So what's going to happen if I play this field, it's only going to play it once. If I change it to 0, it's going to continue playing the macro that I have selected. Now for those that don't know, I'm going to go into the field. The macro that I'm going to use is coco. So what happens with the macro coco comes over here, has to jump over this stuff, goes through here, jumps over here, comes up here. Just a quick review, right? This is what it does, right? It comes over here. It uses D1, which drops a planter, and then it makes circles all around. So this is the cocoa field. This is the one that we're going to be looking at real quick, and everything else like that. So here we go. All right, we have cocoa. Here's right click just to put the mouse on the screen. Escape R. It's just all that does is reset your player. Okay, spins it around. Oops, I just moved stuff, but that's okay. Um, okay, so you can see what an image does. It looks for this image. Okay, this coefficient, because sometimes it gets dark, You know, you have daytime and nighttime in Bee Swarm Simulator. So sometimes they get dark, and it's good to have the coefficient a little higher. This one searches the whole screen. Some people search a specific region of the screen if you're just looking for something specific, but we're going to leave this on the whole screen. Okay, what now? What does this do? If this is true, okay, it rotates you because when you start a Bee Swarm Simulator, you're looking in one direction or you're looking at the other direction. And if you're looking in the wrong direction, this reads it and puts you in the right direction. Okay, it goes down, it zooms out, right? And then you see it start to move. Okay, this delay right here. Okay, uh, usually you'll see D or A. Now there's some spaces because there's some jumps, but usually you see D or A with the high number. 1,000 is usually hive slot 1. 4 is 4,000. If you're using Canon, it's all the same. Hive slot 1 is 1,000, 2, 2,000, 3, 3,000, 4, 4,000, 5, 5,000, 6, 6,000. Now some people have comments, some people have more information than comment, but I think this comment is pretty clear. Hive location 1x, right? 1,000 times the hot whatever slot you're in. Okay, pretty clear. It goes ahead. This is what it does. It jumps over there by the cannon. Then it goes up, and it continues jumping as you saw me jump. Then over here it goes to the field. It drops here. D1, right? D1 when you go into Roblox is this right here. This thing that I'm hiding, right? Which drops my, I believe is the sprinkler, right? See, we can't place more sprinklers. But anyway, D1 is that. So you can see that this my stingers are D2, clouds are D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. Okay, now we have 7 slots. Okay, so it reads that. Um, go back to the macro. Now, after it placed that down, it repeats 40 times. What it does is does a circle. We're going to see in a moment. It does a circle, and you can do it with your mouse. If you hit D, W, A, S, you'll see that you'll go around in almost like a box. Okay, box, circle, however you want to call it. At the end of that, before it repeats, so this is doing it with just one time going down this whole list. Okay, does that, which I believe is about 3 circles. Okay, now on mine, so try to compensate for it to start back in the same position. The last two of the circle, as you can see here, are slightly higher, and that usually gets me back. Oh, why do I have this one? Because I go from a smaller circle to a bigger circle. Anyways, um, that's how my macro works. Now you have bag check. Now we're gonna get into a little bit more detail here, right? If this pixel in this location uh, equals red, right? This color, then what it's telling it to do, if it equals that, then it goes to N coco. Now this N coco here is just a label down here that says N coco. So when I click on it, here will give me a drop down of whatever label that I have to N coco. Okay, but now um, I want to show you how this one works. Okay, let me bring this over here. Okay, my bag is full. So since my bag is full and my screen, this is my screen, okay, I did some work for you guys, so it works on this screen and this screen, different bag checks. But anyway, in this screen, if I test it right now, it should test true because my bag is full, okay, and this is the coordinates that is using, okay, to do it. You know, you could use capture. That's what we use to capture the red. We found the red, the proper red. We hit F2, and it captured that red color in this pollen box. Now, I'm not going to do that because, again, I already have it done. So I'm just going to hit cancel. It goes back to normal. Okay, so that's really how that works. You capture that color in that location. It will fill out the coordinates. It will fill out the RGB color for you. It will tell you what color it is. And then you can test it. If it's true, bam, it's working. All right, that's the super bright red. That's the brightest red that will be up there and back full. So in another location because this mouse coordinate is somewhere else, it's not going to work. But if I go to, if your monitor or your screen resolution is that, it should work. Again, if you need to adjust it because you want to use F11, right? You want it to be full max screen. Um, oh yeah, you want it to be like that instead of being like this. You can, but then you have to. At least with my macro, you have to mess around with it. Everybody does something different. Okay, now it will, and if it reads that your bag is full, again, it will end the macro. I have a few extra stuff. Here's a honey image. Oops, here's the honey image. Okay, so this, what this does is that if it does not read honey, the word honey up here, it will end the macro also. You will know a little bit more about that in details in a moment. Okay, but just uh, you'll see that in my reconnection macro, which we'll get to in a moment. Okay, but anyway, that's what it's doing. It's reading this honey. You capture that device like that. If it's true, bam, true. Then since it's true, it keeps running and repeating. Okay. If it's false, if it does not find the word honey, else, right? If it's true, it just gives a delay. If it's not true, right, and it doesn't read it, it then else it ends coco. Okay. Let's continue. Here's one that a lot of people use. You go ahead, you capture the red up here in the pollen, right? That red is so bright that it doesn't. You don't even need a similarity coefficient. But if you want to, you can put 50 in there because that's just what works for almost every single thing. Okay, test if true, bam. Okay, if true, and coco. So we have a little bit of, I guess, a redundancy. We have the image and we have the pixel location. Okay, some people just use the image, some people just use pixel location. Usually it reads mine on my macro, it reads the pixel location and it just ends it. It doesn't even have to get that far. But just in case, I have both of them. I'm not gonna get into this because all this does is that I have a memory match over there, and if the memory match, if it reads the memory match, it ends Coco because it's saying, hey, you are in the wrong location. But again, that's up to each and every single person. After that, it ends, and because I have, as I told you before, because I have this playback setting at 0, it just keeps repeating, 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 repeating. Okay, cancel. Let's save it. Let's see it played, right? Okay, so that way you can just see that my macro in Coco 4. Oh wait, I'm not even in Hive Slot 4. Let me 1 second, real quick. Here we go. So again, macroing is not something that takes rocket science, but it does take some information uh, for you to be able to know what to do. Okay, here's the macro playing. As you can see on the top left, it's playing. Okay, I'm gonna give you the shortcut keys, but Control Q will quit the macro completely. You'll still have the thing on the top till you hit the eject button. Um, but Control P I use a lot if I'm in the middle and I want to do some stuff real quick. I will pause it while I'm in the middle of a field because that's the easiest place to pause. When I'm done, I'll put it back in the field. Okay, so there's my macro. As you saw, one jump, another jump, another jump, boom. Goes to the left. There's your D1 and just does the circle. Small circle, and then he goes into a bigger circle. Okay. Sometimes, depending on your haste, depending on how big that circle is. See, he pretty much goes back to the same spot. Okay, now I'm gonna hit Control Q because I want to stop it. Sometimes you have to hit all the buttons for it to stop doing all the macroing stuff. At least I have that experience. So you can stop it there. Okay. Now to play a macro, which I forgot to cover it a second ago, Um, you have action keys here. Control P, Control R. So click in here, hit Control P, bam, macro starts right away. Okay, so I want to get over another macro real quick again. I am short on time, so I'm trying to go over this real quick. Okay, another one that some people use. I have lots. Um, let's see. I wanted to show. All right, lost connection. Hive for example. Okay, so you get one of these lost connection. Everybody does it a little different. Just real quick. Uh, Mine's check for the honey. Okay, if that word is not there, it starts this macro. If the word is there, it just ends the macro. Real quick. If it sees the word honey, it just ends the macro. Okay. If it doesn't, then it does that. Okay. It will go. It will rejoin. It will use you. This is where you put your Roblox address in. Okay. If it fails to connect, I have it where it comes back to the top and it continues. Um, Again, this is your Hive slot. Between your well, this one's not A or D, but this is your Hive slot. So it tells you what you need to change depending on where you are at. So that way you can land on the right Hive. Now mine's a little different. This over here, this image on mine, let me show you real quick. It actually makes sure that there is a legendary bee. It reads the legendary bee. So because when this macro starts, I could probably get it to land here, but sometimes it lands a little further. And so I just have it read that nice bright blue. Okay. Let's see. Bright blue. And it continues. If it does not read the bright blue, it actually goes to move to hide. It goes back to move to hide. Right. If it doesn't read it, it resets the player and it tries to go back and collect the hive a second time. So again, some redundancy in the one that I have and everything else like that. Each and every single person is different. Now, one of my favorite thing about macroing that me and a friend of mine's, Mr. E, I call him. Anyways, we love sub macroing. Right? We used to be like, what is sub macroing? Everybody says that it. All it is really, I take this macro, hive, for example, this lost connection, right? And I place it in a different macro. What happens is that they mix this macro a sub macro. Now, one of my favorite and something that has been working great for me is that I have hive slot runs. Okay, this is one of my favorite things. Okay, so just to give a gist over here, I could run 4 different fields. So I come over here, I could run coco. I could come over here and I say, hey, I want to run blue flower. Bam, blue flower. And one of the things that sometimes makes what I need to do, I come over here, right? I look at my quest. I'm like, oh, okay. I need mountain. I need cactus. I need rose. Okay. So over here, I could say, hey, you know what? I want blue flower. I want over here. I want to do my mountain. I want to do a different field. I want to do snail because I need to kill my snail. Okay. By the way, my snail and stump is the same thing. It will kill snail or will farm stump, whatever you wanted to do. But anyways, um, so it does that. So what happens is that I have this to repeat so many times. I have it repeat, and it usually this repeat six usually lasts for a little bit over 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, and you have to adjust it depending on how fast you collect and everything else like that. I try to keep it the same. It's hard to adjust with the different fields, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. So the first thing it does, it checks for connection. So I could actually close Roblox, right? Close all that stuff. Start the macro, bam, and the macro will actually go in. Go ahead, and it will start Roblox for me. Okay, I'm gonna stop it. It's gonna continue connected to Roblox because I'm showing you stuff. Okay, right? Why does it do that? Because I have lost connection for it did not see the word honey, so it reset everything. Okay. Then it will do blue flower. Then it will do lost connection. Then it will do mountain. Then it will do check for connection again. Now, it will do that how many times? 6 times. After the 6 times, it will do a lock connection. This is a bug run only. It goes ahead and kills all the bugs and farms each field very little. Okay, then after it does that, it will goes to polar bear and it turns in. Okay, anytime I am resetting a thing, I have a separate macro for it. So that way, if there's an issue with just specifically that, I could work. I could just go here and say, hey, you know what? I'm having a problem with polar bear turning. Uh, let me save it. Oh, you know what? I don't want to save it. I'm having problem with some more check, right? Um, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. So I'm having a problem here. So I can come over here, just open this, edit it, and it will automatically, I don't have to worry about where is it on my whole long list of macros. Okay. Same thing with the bug run. If I have an issue in a turning, I could go to my bug run, fix that issue, or polar bear turning, fix that issue, and I don't have to. Did it open my Roblox? It should have opened Roblox. Sometimes it gets stuck in the screen, but the macro again after so many times it'll say, "Hey, uh, there's an issue here," so uh, it will go ahead and try to fix that issue. Okay. Yeah. All right. As we got that issue solved, now it's going back in. And I can show you. So if I have an issue again with that one thing, it will do. So 30 minutes up here, it'll run this here one time, and it'll go into another 30-minute block, which another, I have different fields again. Okay. And then after this one is done, this one is different. So after these 30 minutes, now I have the bug run just like the above one. But now I also do my feast candle, my feast, my candles, my clock, my stocking, and then I do my gingerbread house. And very soon I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add some more. I'm still testing it. Okay. So how do you create this? It's very simple. So you create a new one. You create try to have a delay between almost everything. Okay. You create a delay. The only thing in the delay you have to change is this. Okay. We usually use 500 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds. Just depends on how it acts and what we want to do. Okay. Now to insert another macro. Look at this. Play another macro. So if you want to do 3 fields, right? And this is just an example. Um, so I'm just so used to changing everything to 4. You could come over here. You could continue entering like that, or you could cut and paste. Cut and paste here works too. And over here, I just come over here, and I could put different fields. And then I could play this, and then all of a sudden I'm farming 3 different fields. Okay. Um, of course, things get more elaborate, but everything's here. Insert. Um, Everything that you need again is here. Okay. But if you want to use your macros as sub macros, all you have to do is that play another macro. Okay. If you want to do something more elaborate, I recommend following what I have here. Okay. Where I entered a repeat, and then if you enter a repeat, you have to enter a end repeat. Okay, so this will repeat this section 6 times, and what I like about it is that kind of gives it a little space between, um, and then you know where you end your repeat. In the beginning, at the end of all macros, I usually have a delay. Um, the only other thing I'll go over real quick, okay, back over here, is labels. Okay, anytime you create a label, if you want to go to that label, like for example, it says go to. So when you use a go to, it will jump to wherever you have a label. Okay, so be careful when you mix and match and join a lot of the macros together. Again, I don't join macros together. I just use it the way I showed you. I think it is a lot easier um, and simple to do. Okay, I think I went over everything: how to fix the pixel, how to fix the images. Right over here, what I did is capture honey like that. Right, it will come over here. It will capture. Uh, Again, similarity coefficient because of the different season. Over here, you could put the whole screen, or you could um, select a specific region, however you want to do it, and then you test. It's false because it's reading this whole macro screen. So if I was to bring this smaller and I was to do it and test it, it will true. Okay. See, cancel. Don't worry, I'll be closing it. I'm not gonna be saving it anyway. So again, uh, I like to make comments, so I have my resolutions that these different things work for. Um, so let me just show you this real quick. This is how I save my macro. Oops, let me just go. It'll be easier this way. This is how I save my macro. Again, uh, Roblox settings. Make sure you do the README. Um, I like to put in the C drive. I like to have all my fields separate so I can just find it easily on what I want to do hive slot run for. I have different stuff. Now I just use the for repeat mix. I don't really use any of the other ones. I could actually delete all of them for all I care. Okay, this is a full bug run with no ant. I actually have my ant ticket run separate because I actually used to do 2 hours and collect ant tickets, but it's rare that I even do ants. I don't collect ant tickets anymore. Okay, here's all my bees miss. This is just for hive slot 4, so I didn't make 4 or anything else like that in front of them. Some more check. Cancel this. Um, see different macro. Now this one uses utilize the cannon, so hive slot 4 is 4,000. Somebody else created it, and all it did was went ahead and modified it to be more. I'm more particular on how my macros run. So I like to go in and tweak the delays and tweak this and change this a little bit here. Maybe use a different image that I think is better. Definitely, if you need help, there's a place in Discord that you could go ahead and find help in different things. Okay. Um, See, this is what I was testing, but I haven't actually collected it with him yet. So I guess I will do that in about 10 minutes to see how this macro runs. So I changed the circle and I changed how it collects. I'm pretty happy with it, but we will see how it goes. Okay. Um, I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and put it in the comments. And if I need to do a second video, we will do a second video. If you have any questions or concerns, please put it in the comments. And again, if we feel that there's a need to do a second video, if there's things that you do not understand, go ahead and put it in the comments. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you all have a very good day. Bye bye.